stop scrolling, right now. This is not a coincidence. The fact that you're seeing this message at this exact moment, in this exact season of your life, with everything you're currently facing, this is not random. This is not the algorithm. This is not luck. This is divine orchestration. You were meant to find this now. Not yesterday when you wouldn't have been ready to hear it. Not tomorrow when it would be too late. Now. This moment. And what I'm about to tell you is going to explain why everything you've been through, everything you've been feeling, everything you've been questioning, it's all been leading to right now. Can I tell you something that's going to shift your entire perspective? There are no accidents in the kingdom. There are no coincidences when God is involved. Every moment, every encounter, every seemingly random event is part of a larger design that you can't see from your limited vantage point. And right now, in this moment, you finding this message is a divine appointment that was set before you even woke up this morning, before you picked up your phone, before you started scrolling. This appointment was on heaven's calendar, and you're right on time. I know what you're thinking. I know part of you wants to dismiss this. Part of you has heard messages like this before. Part of you is tired of getting your hopes up just to be disappointed. But something made you stop. Something made you stay. Something in your spirit recognized that this is different, and that something is the Holy Spirit confirming what I'm about to tell you. You are exactly where you need to be, hearing exactly what you need to hear, at exactly the right time. Let me tell you what I see when I look at your life right now. I see someone who has been asking questions, big questions. Am I on the right path? Does my life have purpose? Is anyone listening to my prayers? Will things ever change? I see someone who has been battling thoughts that you haven't told anyone, thoughts of giving up, thoughts of walking away, thoughts that maybe you missed your chance, that maybe it's too late, that maybe you're not meant for the breakthrough you've been praying for. I see you at crossroads, decisions that need to be made, choices that feel overwhelming, paths that all look unclear. And underneath all of it, there's a question that keeps surfacing. A question you might not have even put into words yet. Does God really see me? Does He really care? Am I really part of His plan, or am I just existing, just surviving, just taking up space? And the reason you found this message right now is because heaven is answering that question. Yes. Yes, you are seen. Yes, you are cared for. Yes, you are very much part of the plan. And this moment right now is your confirmation. If you're feeling something stir in your spirit, if there's a knowing rising up that this message is for you, type "not a coincidence" in the comments, because when you declare it, when you acknowledge it, when you agree with what heaven is confirming, something activates. You move from wondering if God sees you to knowing that He does. You move from questioning your purpose to stepping into it. You move from feeling lost to recognizing you've been found. Let me tell you why timing matters so much. Why you finding this now is so significant. There are seasons in life. There are appointed times. There are kairos moments when heaven breaks through into time and says this is your moment. Not last year when you thought you were ready. Not next year when you think you'll be more prepared. Now, this season, this moment. And if you miss it, if you dismiss it, if you say maybe later, you might miss the very thing you've been praying for. I learned this lesson 11 years ago in a way that still gives me chills. I was in a season of complete confusion. I had just lost my job. My relationship was falling apart. I was questioning everything about my life, my choices, my direction. And one night, I was scrolling through my phone, not looking for anything in particular, just numbing the pain with distraction. And I came across a video. The title was almost exactly like this one, something about divine timing and appointments. And I almost kept scrolling. I almost dismissed it as just another religious video. But something made me stop. Something made me click. Something made me watch. And in that video, the speaker said words that I can still hear clearly today. What you're going through right now is not punishment. It's preparation. What you think is the end is actually the beginning. And the reason you're hearing this message right now is because your appointed time has come. Not someday. Now. I sat there in my car, tears streaming down my face, and I whispered, "Okay, if this is really you, if this is really my time, show me what to do next." The next morning I received a phone call, a former colleague reaching out with an opportunity. It made no sense based on where I was. It required me to move to a different city. It was in a field I had no experience in. Everything logical said say no. But I remembered the message, I remembered the timing, I remembered that I had asked God to show me what to do next, and I said yes. That yes changed everything. That opportunity led to a career I couldn't have imagined. That move led to relationships that shaped my future. That leap of faith led to the life I'm living now. But here's what haunts me. I almost kept scrolling. I almost dismissed it. I almost said, not now. And if I had missed that divine appointment, my entire trajectory would be different. That's why I speak with such urgency when I tell you this is not a coincidence, because I know from experience that there are moments when heaven opens a door and that door doesn't stay open indefinitely. There are appointments that can be missed, and I don't want you to miss yours. Would you hit the like button right now? Not for me, but as an act of faith, as a declaration that says, I recognize this moment. I acknowledge this appointment. I'm saying yes to what heaven is orchestrating. That simple action creates alignment. It moves you from passive observation to active participation. And participation is what opens doors. Now let me tell you specifically why you were meant to find this now. What's happening in your life at this exact moment that makes this message so timely, so necessary, so critical for what's about to unfold. First, you're at a decision point. There's something you've been thinking about, a choice you need to make, a step you need to take, a conversation you need to have, and you've been hesitating. You've been overthinking. You've been waiting for more clarity, more confidence, more confirmation. This is your confirmation. The decision you've been wrestling with, make it. The step you've been afraid to take it. The conversation you've been avoiding, have it. You found this message now because heaven is saying the time is now. Stop waiting, stop hesitating, move. Second, you're in a transition season. Something is ending or has ended. A job, a relationship, a chapter of your life, and it's left you feeling untethered, uncertain, maybe even lost. You've been asking, what's next? Where do I go from here? What's my purpose now? You found this message now because heaven is saying the ending wasn't the disaster you thought it was. It was necessary. It was making room. It was closing one chapter so another could open. And that new chapter, that next season, it's starting now. This message is your green light, your go signal, your invitation to step into what's next. Third, you're battling doubt. Maybe about God, maybe about yourself, maybe about whether breakthrough is even possible for someone like you, with a past like yours, with mistakes like yours. The lies have been loud. You're not worthy. You're not qualified. You've messed up too many times. It's too late for you. You found this message now because heaven is silencing those lies with truth. You are worthy, not because of what you've done, but because of whose you are. You are qualified, not by your resume, but by your assignment. And it's not too late. In fact, your timing is perfect. Fourth, you're on the edge of breakthrough. You've been praying, believing, hoping, holding on. And lately, you've been wondering if you should just give up, if maybe breakthrough isn't coming, if maybe you're fooling yourself. You found this message now because heaven is saying, don't you dare give up. Not now. Not when you're this close. What you've been praying for is closer than you think. What you've been believing for is about to manifest. What you've been hoping for is on the other side of your obedience right now. Type in the comments which one of these resonates most with you. I'm at a decision point. I'm in transition. I'm battling doubt. I'm on the edge of breakthrough. Or type your specific situation, because when you name it, when you acknowledge where you are, you create clarity. And clarity is what allows you to move forward with confidence. Let me tell you about someone I'll call David. He found a message almost identical to this one 14 months ago. He was sitting in his car during his lunch break, scrolling mindlessly, avoiding going back to a job he hated. He saw a title about divine appointments and almost kept scrolling. But something made him click. Something made him watch. And when he heard, "This is not a coincidence," something broke open in his spirit. He typed in the comments, "I'm at a decision point. I need to know if I should leave this job and start my own business." He had been thinking about it for 3 years, but fear kept him stuck. Fear of failure, fear of financial instability, fear of what people would think. But that message gave him the confirmation he needed. He gave notice the next day, started his business 2 weeks later. 11 months later, he's making more than he made in his entire previous career, but more than the money, he's fulfilled. He's living in purpose. He's walking in his calling, and he tells me now, if I had kept scrolling that day, if I had dismissed that message as just another video, I'd still be stuck in that job, dying a little more every day, wondering if life would ever feel meaningful. That's the power of recognizing your divine appointments. That's the importance of understanding that some things are not coincidences. Now let me tell you what you need to do right now in response to this appointment. Because finding this message is only half of the equation. Your response is the other half. Heaven orchestrated the meeting, but you must take the next step. 1. Receive the confirmation. Stop questioning whether this is really for you. Stop wondering if you're reading too much into it. Receive it. This message found you because you needed to hear it. The timing is not random. The content is not generic. This is your confirmation. Receive it with an open heart. 2. Identify the next step. There's something you're supposed to do next. A decision to make, an action to take, a conversation to have, a risk to embrace. You know what it is. It's the thing you've been thinking about, praying about, avoiding because it feels too big or too scary or too uncertain. That's your next step. Identify it, name it, write it down. 3. Commit to a timeline. Don't say someday. Don't say when I'm ready. Don't say when things are more clear. Set a timeline. This week, this month, within 30 days. Put a date on it, because commitment without a timeline is just a wish, and heaven is not calling you to wish. Heaven is calling you to move. 4. Tell someone. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this message with one person who will hold you accountable. Tell them what you're committing to do. Tell them your timeline. Give them permission to check on you, to encourage you, to push you if you start to waver, because accountability turns intention into action. Type in the comments what your next step is. Be specific. I'm going to apply for that position this week. I'm going to have that conversation tomorrow. I'm going to start that business within 30 days. I'm going to forgive and reach out this weekend. Whatever it is, declare it, because declaration creates momentum. Would you share this video with one person right now? One specific person who came to your mind while you were watching. That person who's also at a crossroads. That person who's also questioning their timing. That person who needs to hear that what they're experiencing is not coincidence, it's divine orchestration. When you share this, you become part of their divine appointment. You become the messenger heaven uses to reach them. Let me tell you what's happening right now in the spiritual realm while you're hearing these words. Doors that appeared closed are being unlocked. Pathways that looked blocked are being cleared. Opportunities that seemed gone are being resurrected. People who you need to meet are being positioned. Resources you need are being released. Clarity you've been asking for is being downloaded. And all of this is happening because you showed up for your appointment. You didn't scroll past it. You didn't dismiss it. You're here, you're listening, you're engaging, and that matters more than you know. Now let me address what might be happening in your mind right now. There's probably a battle. One voice saying, this is real, this is for me, this is my moment. Another voice saying, don't be foolish, don't get your hopes up, you've been disappointed before. Can I tell you that both voices are expected? That the battle doesn't mean you're lacking faith? That doubt and belief often coexist, and that's okay. Here's what I've learned. You don't need to silence the doubt completely. You just need to choose which voice you're going to obey. The voice of fear will always be there. The voice of doubt will always whisper, but so will the voice of faith, so will the voice of hope. And the voice you empower is the voice that shapes your reality. So yes, acknowledge the doubt, but choose to act on the faith. Choose to move on the hope. Choose to respond to the confirmation. Before we close, I want to pray over this divine appointment. I speak clarity over your next step. I declare that you know exactly what you're supposed to do. That confusion lifts. That hesitation breaks. That confidence rises. I speak courage over your fear. I declare that you move even when you're afraid, that you step even when you can't see the full path, that you trust even when you don't understand. I speak provision over your need. I declare that everything you need for your next step is provided, that doors open, that resources appear, that people show up, that timing aligns perfectly. I speak protection over your purpose. I declare that nothing will stop what God has started, that opposition will fail, that delays will be overcome, that your obedience today leads to your breakthrough tomorrow. And I speak recognition over future appointments. I declare that you will recognize divine orchestration when you see it, that you won't dismiss confirmations, that you won't miss moments, that you'll be sensitive to heaven's timing for the rest of your life. This is not a coincidence. You were meant to find this now, not to just hear nice words, not to just feel encouraged for a moment, but to receive your marching orders, to get your confirmation, to know with certainty that your time is now. The decision point you're facing? It's time to decide. The transition you're in? It's time to embrace it. The doubt you're battling? It's time to silence it. The breakthrough you're believing for? It's time to step into it. You found this message because heaven is saying your season of waiting is over. Your season of wondering is complete. Your season of breakthrough has begun. So what are you going to do with this appointment? How are you going to respond to this confirmation? What step are you going to take in the next 24 hours to prove that you recognize this moment as divine? Because I promise you, when you look back 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, you're going to recognize that this moment, this message, this divine appointment that was not a coincidence, this was the turning point. This was when everything changed. Don't let this moment pass without action. Don't let this appointment be wasted. You were meant to find this now. Welcome to your divine appointment. What you do next changes everything. It starts now.